Hello and welcome back. This is video 4 in a 4-video series on how to create this final result you can see right here. Okay, so those of you who watched my previous video will know I had a bit of a battle with the side texture of the guitar here, but I changed around a few textures and I like the result. I just tweaked a few values. I didn't do anything major, so it's not like I was cheating or anything. But you can see my notes here if you want to, whatever you want to do with them. So you can just change a bunch of colors around. Okay, so in this video, what we're going to be doing is the neck first. So with the neck selected, I'm just going to give a subdivision surface. If you hold down Control and then I don't know if I've explained this in my previous videos, but I'm not. But yeah, if you hold down Control and then a number 1 to 6 and then 0, it's going to give you that corresponding subdivision value, which is a very helpful tool. I use it all the time. Yeah, so I'm just going to get the subdivision up about 2, smooth shading, and then I forgot to block this up. So everyone's going to have a bit of a different UV unwrapping experience based on how you've modeled the neck of the guitar. And I'll explain what I want in a second. The specific look I want to the wood here that I didn't actually do in my final result. That was kind of that was like a cheat for me, I suppose. So my final result, the thumbnail on YouTube and all that, is one of my less improved models, which is, shouldn't have done that, but anyway, you can't actually see the side, the neck of the guitar in that thumbnail, so it doesn't matter. Okay, so quick tip here. Sometimes when you want to UV unwrap an object like this, you don't want to go through and select every line like this, as you can see me doing here, because sometimes if you have more complicated models, it gets pretty, just confusing, and you select wrong things, and it ends up messy. So what you can do, yeah, of course, hold Alt, and then it's going to select the whole line, but then it's going to go all the way down to the end of your model, depending on your geometry, but if you've modeled it properly, it's going to do that. So a really cool thing you can do here is just select the lines like this, hide it, and then you can feel free to Alt select stuff at your whatever you need selected, just like this. You can see, and it's going to stop there, and it's not going to continue into the hidden areas. Yeah, so that's just really helpful. I've only actually been using that recently, and I don't know why I haven't found it before. It's really helpful. Okay, so I'm just going to mark those seams there. I'm going to unhide everything, Alt H, and my screencast key is not on. Okay, so I'm happy with that. That's been UV unwrapped. I'm going to close this for now. Okay, textures. Because like I said, a lot of... Did I say that? I did. No, I didn't. I'm not sure. But as I'm saying, I want the neck of the guitar to look a lot like the side of this guitar, the guitar body here. And that's the case with a lot of acoustic guitars out there. So that's what we're going to do here, just by selecting the guitar side, the material for the neck. And it's going to push this plus button, and what this plus button is going to do is duplicate the material, but it's going to make it a standalone, if I can call it that, like a standalone material. So you can rename it and adjust it whatever you like, and it's going to make it a material in of itself. So you can do whatever you like to, it's not going to adjust the other one. Okay, so now that we've selected that, I'm just going to delete these two RGB curves. RGB curves nodes. RGB curve. How would you say that? RGB curves nodes. RGB node curves. That's definitely not it. Anyway, so let's look at the scale over here. Look at the scale. That looks quite cool. But what I want to do is make this look like it's been UV unwrapped. Make it look like it's been carved out of one piece of wood. And this doesn't look as very realistic because you'll see what I mean here. It just looks a little bit better if we mark a seam down there and then unwrap it, and you can see it now. It looks like it's been carved out of a single piece of wood, so I'm going to keep it like that. Problem is, we have this line over here, but with the glossy materials and with the glossy materials we're going to be adding, it's not going to look that bad, so I'm not too worried about that. So it's in a bit of a strange position, so people are not going to be looking there very often. Okay, what's next? Yeah, I suppose color. I want to make sure it's very similar to the side of our guitar there, but I do want some variation so it breaks up the material, the transition between the two quite a bit. So let's have a look at this, color-wise. Yeah, definitely want to make it a little darker, so I'm going to add an RGB curves node. RGB curves, not RGB. Throw that in there, then break this line and bring it down to about love. Just about there. I think that looks alright. Let's just leave it as it is. Let's bring it down a bit. Okay, so next thing, reflectivity, and I'm going to move my camera back for this. I want the reflectivity to be very similar to the side and front of our guitar, and it's like that in a lot of the cases. And that's what I did with my final render, but I actually think it would look a little bit better if it was a bit more diffused. So I'm going to take the little more rough. Sorry. So I'm just going to take the roughness to about 0.1. See how that looks. Yeah, cool. On a lot of guitars, like I said, it's very sharp as well. But I did it with my final one, but I just don't think it's as nice. Okay, so now that that's done, what we want to do next is what I did was I gave a separate texture to. I'm getting confused. I gave a separate texture to this over here. And oh gosh, completely forgot about this. This is not ideal. I don't want this. Just take that away. Take it away. Just like that. Cool. Yeah, alright. What I did was give a separate material to the front here. I thought it looked quite cool. You can see it on a lot of guitars. If you just Google them, acoustic guitars. Guess this is going to be a new texture I haven't used before, but what I'm going to do first is select this plus button here, select the same guitar neck, and then just hit this plus button over here, and it's going to make it its separate material. And I'm going to leave it named guitar neck 0.001. And all I'm going to do is delete these two here, this one here, because we just want this to be a single image. And it's already UV unwrapped, so we don't have to worry about that. Let's delete this diffuse actually as well. Okay, just like that, so all we have is a very simple setup. Okay, but we need to assign it, of course. So let's select all of our faces we want it to be applied to. These ones here, and then select assign. Okay, so the new texture I'll be linking in the description below. It's a link to CG textures. It's a very common one. I'm quite sure you would have seen it before. It's this one right here, you can see it. And I'm just going to make it brighter actually, about there. Let's see what this looks like with the rendered. Yeah, I think that looks alright. Maybe we can make it a little brighter. Yeah, about that. Awesome. Okay, so I think that is it for the neck of the guitar. Let's begin with the fingerboard. This black piece here, and then the frets. Cool. Let's do it. Okay, cool. So I just had a look at my other blend file to make sure I'm going to do this right. And yeah, so it does have a subdivision. It does, but it's not viewable. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is select the fingerboard, and then go into edit mode, and then create a loop. I already have this loop cut here. Okay, cool. So I'm going to select these textures over here, just this outer one, and then maybe this inner one here as well. Here and over here. And I'm going to make this white. The white texture we applied to the base of the guitar. I just thought it looked quite cool. So that's pretty much the only reason why we're adding it. It looks cool, and a lot of other guitars have that. Okay, so actually what you should do is give the main texture first, so let's do that. Let's say a new texture, we'll name this Fingerboard. Okay, so with this fingerboard, We're not going to worry about that at the moment. We're going to create a new texture, and this is going to be, we're just going to select our white value over here. There we go, white, and then we're going to assign this. Then let's see how that looks. So actually, let's add our Fingerboard texture first so we can see it properly. Don't forget to assign it. Okay, so now that's assigned. Let's concentrate on the Fingerboard. The texture we're going to be using is one we've already used, but I took it in GIMP and then I just changed around some of the colors just by using an RGB curves node and bringing it down a lot. This one over here, you can see it's very dark. Let me show you quick. Yeah, so all I did was take it down in you can even do it in Blender, I suppose, but anyway. Okay, so I have that now, and of course we have to unwrap our guitar neck. Almost forgot about that. Then we forgot if I actually modeled this in the video or not. If that's one of the things I imported. I thought it was time lapse, wasn't it? That's what it was. Yeah, so see what I'm doing here. Just like that. And something similar over here. We forgot what I did there. Yes, that one. And take this away, I suppose. Alright, awesome. So I'm gonna mark these seams over here. Select everything, you unwrap. Then with that unwrapped, let's see what our material looks like. That's a problem with low geometry. It's unwrapped again, do the same thing. If you ever have that happening, then just throw in some more geometry and you'll be fine, just like I did there. Having the same problem over here again. Actually for this I don't want to add in another loop cut, so rather I'm just going to apply a mean crease to these over here, just like this. Selecting the wrong one. Select these. This is another alternative to adding more geometry. If we do this, you'll notice our image is going to snap to these edges here. If we give this a mean increase of 1, that's exactly what we're going to do. Give that a mean increase of 1, and then UV unwrap this again. You'll see these are now smaller, so that's cool. Okay, I'm happy with this. Next thing we need to do is add in a mapping node. Mapping and then texture coordinates. We'll just throw this right here. It's in here. Didn't exactly plug it in there. Go in, come on. My word still hasn't gone in. UV vector. There we go. Okay, so I want to rotate this 90 degrees on the x-axis, just like that. That looks cool. And then this is way too big, so I'm going to scale this all the way down to about let me check on my main one. Let's see what I did. That can't be right. 1.5 on each. Doesn't sound right, does it? Well, let's have a look and see what it looks like. I suppose I could be right. I'm actually going to take it down more. Let's say 2. Maybe even 2.5. 2 looks okay, I suppose. Yeah, 2 looks fine. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is add in our glossy node. Mix shader, and I'm going to make this lean heavily towards the diffuse side. So I'm going to make this about 0.1. Then I'm going to add in a glossy node, and glossy roughness we'll leave at 0.2. And then let's have a look at this. Let's see how this looks in render mode. Okay. That does look cool, but it's not as black as I want it to be. So let's mix our diffuse here with a black texture. Suppose we could just darken it, but I prefer working like this. And take this. Maybe it'll be better just to darken our image. What do you think? No, that looks fine. Yeah, that looks right. Let's make this 0.5. see. That looks nice. And can we still see our text, or is that diffuse blocking it out completely? It's blocking it out way too much. Yeah, no, let's just throw in a RGB curves node. Okay, sorry about that. That was a big waste of time. Okay, RGB curves, throw this between our diffuse. Don't need this mix shader anymore. Blender's slowing down quite a bit here. But actually my computer's slowing down, not Blender. Yeah, let's take this down to about there. Still having a hard time seeing this texture. I blame our mix shader. Nope, can't blame our mix shader. Okay, well, you get the idea. I think this looks good enough. I think that looks good enough. But it's mainly black, and that's what I want. Okay, so now that's done. The next thing we need to do is these bits over here and these bolts here. But this is going to be a very simple shader, thanks to Cycle's rendering engine. We really don't need to do a lot of work on these metallic objects. So just keeping these over here, let's just name this shiny. Okay, so keeping our default diffuse here, I'm going to add a mix shader and a glossy shader. Just throw these in like that, and I'm going to throw it heavily towards the glossy side, let's say about 0.8, and take the glossy roughness to about 0.05. And let's give it to everything so we can see how that looks. Shiny. To our can't select my frets. Oh, come on. How annoying. Okay. Then we'll just select these, Alt L, modifiers, nope. Materials, yes. Okay, cool. So let's have a look at what these frets look like with this now applied. Yeah, I'm happy with that. That's okay. Yeah. So you can spend more time on that if you like, but I'm just gonna give it that very simple shader. I'm quite happy with that too. It does the job. Yeah, okay. So what I'm going to do now is the color of the strings, which is going to be very similar to that. In fact, well, yeah, it's going to be very similar as in the pickguard. But I think I'll time lapse that part of the video so it doesn't go on too long. This actually hasn't been too bad so far, but yeah, it's very simple stuff. Basically, we're going to be doing the exact same things we've been doing, so there's no need to do it real time. Yeah, so let's go ahead and do that. Just going to save my project as that. Okay. Alright guys, so I think that's it from me. You can see this is very cool. I think that's it. I'm just trying to think of if I missed anything. Doesn't look like I missed anything. yeah, so that's it. That's everything I did on my other model. So that's everything except for, of course, the setup with the backdrop and everything. But I'm not gonna go in that now. If you want to know how to put some, like I did with that fabric texture behind the guitar, then go and view my iPhone tutorial that I did on my YouTube channel. I do that with the iPhone as well. I actually prefer the fingerboard in this one. It looks a bit better. Looks a lot better actually. The strings are also a bit bigger, so that makes a big difference. Okay, so yeah, that's it. If you like this video, then please like the video, and always subscribe. Your support is always very appreciated. It's a lot of work making these videos, and I really appreciate the follows and all that. So yeah, that's it from me. Thanks for watching. Bye.